away.
We're wanted men.
I have spoken.
Alright, welcome to another episode of the Smuggler's Galaxy podcast. This is Jason. We're currently in the backyard. I haven't had anything to drink.
Yeah, are you sure?
Multitasking. We're in my backyard with Jordan.
Hi.
Jordan Gasly, Jordan Duncan. Jordan Gasly on YouTube. And we're talking Star Wars and Disney and all that fun stuff tonight.
Yes. Hi guys, it's Glenn.
You're loud enough. They can hear you from across the driveway. Backyard.
Yeah. I don't know what caused me to buy seltzers instead of beer, but you know what? I'm YOLO. I'm rolling with it. I said it.
YOLO. Well, I brought in a Vita if you have the need for beer.
A beer from home. I actually might take you up on that, actually.
So these cigars are made in either Nicaragua or the Dominican, but they use Cuban seeds.
Okay.
So they're almost like Cubans, but they're not.
How's everybody's week? Jordan, you've had a shit week.
Glenn, that's a loaded question.
What happened?
Oh man.
As long as you can feel comfortable talking about it.
I can fill you in. So my parents are both on paper disabled. My stepfather pretty much is bedridden. My mom can get around. Her legs have seen better days. Sometimes she's a little less wobbly than normal. Anyway, they both have an in-home care person that's supplied to them from their medical insurance.
Mm-hmm.
They've had this one girl since November, and we found out on Wednesday that she has been stealing money from my parents' bank account since November. Close to $7,000 since November. So my sister and I pretty much had to jump in action and put a hold on the bank accounts, put a hold on she was there in home care, so she was trusted with bank cards because she would do food runs and grocery runs for my parents and item runs and the bank that my parents belong to got a call from the suspicious activity department, or the investigation department, and then it was like, hey, did you spend $1,000 or send $1,000 to somebody's Cash App?
What?
My parents were like, what's Cash App? So then we found out that just little by little since November that this person has been stealing money from my parents' bank account. So it's been a whirlwind of 48 hours for that. And that's pretty much what I've had to deal with. My sister and I have had to deal with all week.
And you're dealing with it from 600 miles away.
No, my parents are actually up by me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my parents actually, my sister actually lives right around the corner from me.
Oh, okay.
And my mom and my stepfather are up in, right off Riverstone.
Oh, all right.
So,
that sucks.
local reference for any local listeners of the podcast.
That
I
sucks.
thought they were still in Homa.
No, they're not. My brother is still in Homa.
Gotcha. It's your dad that's still in Homa.
Yeah. I'm not sure if he rode in a parade this weekend or not. I should probably call him.
Yeah, my wife
Find that out.
was kind of excited. She's like, I want to go to the home. She said Homer, and I went,
Whoa.
you mean Homa? And she kind of gives me that cross-eyed look. Yes, I mean Homa.
But there is a Homer, Louisiana. It's on the complete opposite end of the state. So, so that's kind of been my week. So that's been fun. But It's hey, I'm here with friends. I have alcohol.
Amen.
There's a nice fire going. There's, it's cold, but it's not freezing.
Mhm.
There's a fire going.
Trying to get the fire bigger. Needs to be hotter,
So-
faster.
Listen. I'm just
More
gonna paint.
intense.
I'm gonna paint a picture for the listener. This is the largest backyard fire I have ever seen in my life.
It's a bonfire.
It is. There's a giant wicker man. And Jason, you said something about a sacrifice, right?
Yeah, you.
What?
Why is Nicolas Cage here?
What's up with all these bees? You know what? Never mind, Jason. I had a good run. I'm ready for it. Let's.
Oh my! I got dark quick.
Did you pick anything fun? Up fun?
Let's see. This week, nothing Star Wars related this week. I did find a couple of 501st Archive, the Clone Troopers that I've been looking for.
Mm-hmm.
So I just need one more to round out my 3. So I'm good on that. My birthday was a few weeks ago, or a couple weeks ago, and my wife surprised me with 2 of the Super 7 Ultimates Ninja Turtle figures. And I'm not primarily a Ninja Turtle collector, but these look really cool and they're really well made.
Are they the movie ones?
No, not the movie ones. These are the toy accurate ones with
okay.
the updated toy versions. Mm-hmm. So I got 2 of them, and I was like, well, I got to get the other 2. So I've kind of been hunting the other 2 slowly but surely. So I'm only down to needing the Leonardo right now, but aside from that, that's pretty much all I've picked up. Everything that I'm looking forward to, I think, is just pre-order stuff. Because I know NECA is about to hit me for about $60 for the 2 Universal Monster figures that are coming out.
Which ones are those?
The Mummy and the Wolfman. So the Universal Monsters are one of my things, man. So there's no way I wasn't going to buy those.
Yeah.
I wish there was more Star Wars stuff out there for me to get.
There's a bunch of repaints.
Yeah. Well, it's. I was actually thinking about it the other day, and I was like, man, Star Wars is really making it easy on me to not buy Star Wars right now. Mm-hmm. Not that I'm saying that some of the stuff that they announced is bad, because the next wave of Archive series, I'm actually cool with, because I missed out on the Emperor and I missed out on the Dengar, so I will be happy to pick those up. But it's the constant struggle of just trying to get more Star Wars stuff out there on the pegs, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So it's, unless you want a Lando, I think
Everywhere you go.
Yeah.
$5 figures.
and I made a joke.
Lando's like Eternals right now.
Yeah, I know, right? I think I made a joke on one of the Facebook pages where it's like, the Lando is going to be clearanced here, probably within the next month or 2, but get ready, because whenever the 40th anniversary of the Return of the Jedi figures come out, that's for sure getting
Of course.
a new card.
That's why they made it.
Yeah. It's for sure getting a new card, so you can either buy one now or buy one later, I guess. I will buy one when they come out with the 40th cards, because it seems like that's the bulk of my Black Series collection has been those 40th anniversary cards. So,
Man, that Black Krrsantan was getting torn apart on Hasbro's official Instagram page this week.
it sure was. And
It was horrible.
it didn't look good.
No.
It didn't. It was lazy.
So, and when I saw the picture of the figure, because I saw the figure first, and I was like, oh man, oh god, Facebook is going to have a field day with this picture. And then the next picture I saw was the artwork from the comic, and I'm like, okay, the figure looks fairly comic accurate, but why would you put out a comic accurate figure when Homeboy was just in the show?
I would imagine they were told Black K was going to be in it, and then wasn't given any reference material.
That makes a lot of sense.
Because the braids were off on his neck beard.
No gray.
They should have
accents
used
in
the
his
Wampa
face.
body if they're going to repaint something, not Chewbacca's body.
I saw that a couple of people say use the Wampa body.
But I didn't pre-order it. It looked horrible.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, it didn't look that great. I wasn't jazzed about it.
I decided around noon, the day it was released, that I wanted Cad Bane. So I had about an hour, and then I completely forgot. I got busy with work. And he sold out in 2 minutes
Yeah, that
on
doesn't surprise
Amazon.
me. I actually wasn't too thrilled with that version of the Cad Bane. Whenever he debuted or made his appearance on Book of Boba Fett, actually, that was my birthday, and my in-laws had just so happened to send me a digital Amazon gift card.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, cool. And I was just coasting. I was like, oh, let me see what they have on Star Wars Black Series. And then the Clone Wars Cad Bane was in stock for like $26 or something like that.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I'm going to get this one.
Right.
So I picked it up, and I'm very happy with that figure. It's really good.
Yeah, they just changed the chest on him, I think.
And the hat. The hat's different.
Oh, is it a
It's
different
not
hat?
as small as it is in the show, I don't
Mhm.
think, but it is smaller than the original Clone Wars release.
He doesn't have his trench coat either.
Right.
So, which was a big selling point for me, because I dig the trench coat.
I do too. Hopefully when they do the Book of Boba Fett version, it'll be legit.
Oh, they're going to do the Book of Boba Fett version.
Oh, I know.
It may be 2 years down the road, but they're going to do it.
I'm patiently waiting and hoping that Hasbro will release a Book of Boba Fett with like the black undersuit with cloth goods.
They haven't done that already?
Well, not the one I'm wanting.
I mean,
in my mind.
they've done 3 so far.
They've done that, but the
Tython one has soft goods.
I'm not a big fan of the faux plastic puffy pants.
MC Hammer pants?
Yeah. So if there's a way that they can make that, like, give him like the skinny pants, and then give him like a nice cloth waistcoat, soft goods waistcoat.
Yeah.
I'd be down. Like I would pick that one up. But for right now, my deluxe one from earlier last year will suffice.
Toughest thing about the Razor Crest was putting all the guns. I didn't show you the guns, did I?
No, but I have seen pictures of
Yeah.
just like pegging it into the arsenal.
That's like operation expert level.
Does it buzz at you?
No, that you just lose it and then you try to get your fat fingers in there to get it out.
I feel that.
I did use long tweezers to get it in, and then I used they call it the dentist exploratory tool,
Oh, yeah, the pick.
the pick, to push it in. But it's a curved pick, so it's not like a pointed pick. So I was using the tweezers to get it in place, and then using the curved part to kind of push it onto the pegs. And it was a good half hour.
Jeez. How long did it take you to put that whole thing together?
Maybe 45 minutes. The rest came together pretty easy.
And we were just talking, you hadn't broken it yet.
No, I haven't broken it yet.
Let's just hope
Let's
yet.
hope it stays that way.
Yeah.
But like you were showing me, it's parts that you need to take off to put the landing gear on.
Yeah, that's the parts that are breaking. And part of me wonders, so these things are in cold trucks, in their cold weather, so they're freezing right now, and you bring them into a warm house and you pop it off, it's going to break, it's going to snap.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if people just need to let it acclimate to the interior temperature, so to speak, before they start moving things around. Let the plastic soften a little bit.
I would believe that.
That'd be my guess.
Because I got a base this week, and they always freak out because it's cold. You don't want to let it, you got to let it acclimate. Because you can really screw things up. But thankfully it was acclimated because it was warm enough here that I didn't have to worry about it. Did you pick anything up, Jason?
Just the Razor Crest. I'm working on Action Fleet mock-ups. There's a dude that's selling 2 for $750, and I'm not sure that's worth it. They're like in white boxes because they haven't been printed on. It was just like they're prototypes in a white box.
Nice.
From episode 1. But I feel like that's too much.
Oh, you are the micro collection.
He's not far off. He's probably $100 or $200 off.
Well, will. Tell them where it's at, and maybe somebody can go snake them out from underneath you.
Yeah, you just go up your nose until the left, and you'll find the dude.
Oh, man.
I could have said something else, but I decided to go with the nose.
Yeah, I had a pretty decent week.
You got your slide.
I got my slide.
Your
I got a wampa.
transparency.
Yeah, I got a wampa.
Because you wanted to talk about it last week.
Yeah, and I forgot about it. But I got a wampa 4x5 slide that came in. That it's not the exact one that was used in all the photography, because this one doesn't have the Luke in it in the Tauntaun. But it's still cool because it's from Kim Simmons. And then I also picked up my wife for Valentine's Day. I got her a 35mm slide of an AT-AT, and then one with a bunch of Ewoks on it. And we think the Wicket may be a pre-production, but we can't tell. Please,
Wait, what is it?
It's 3 Ewoks, stuffed Ewoks.
Yeah.
And we think the Wicket might be pre-production, but we can't tell. It's just off enough. Oh, I got some Bill and Ted stuff.
Yeah.
I got a Bill and Ted trailer, like a 35mm trailer from Bogus Adventure. Bogus Adventure. And then I got a old school VHS advertisement from a VHS store, video rental store that lights up.
Oh, that's cool.
That has like Orion home video on it and stuff.
Oh, man.
So I got to hook it up. Mandy told me to hook it up with my Alexa with the case. And when I turn my case on, both of them will turn on. So I just ordered a power strip today before I came over here. So we'll do that tomorrow probably.
That's cool.
Or whenever it comes in. And I bought a base. So that was fun.
All right, I have a couple discussion topics while we're recording, and then we can talk about other stuff.
Cool.
Do it.
The Hutt Twins, in retrospect. When you binge it, it's weird. They show up, and then the next one, no, sorry, we're gone.
Yeah,
They do nope out pretty quick.
they do.
What was the point?
I guess maybe to kind of bring the Hutt name back into it, to show that like the Hutts are still around and that they're still a potential threat.
That was my guess, is that
Yeah.
they're going to be used in Ahsoka or some other show.
That's what I've learned with what Dave Filoni does. You may not get a payoff right now, but there is a payoff sometime.
Mm-hmm.
It may be a year down the road.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of payoffs, the Tusken Raiders. I was certain there'd be a payoff at the end, that they would be the cavalry that Boba needed, because they do exist. They're still out there, because even if that one tribe was killed, Boba, the Mandalorian negotiated with some for passage in the desert, so they're still out there.
Mm-hmm.
I would figure in the 5 years that he was out there, they would have had discussions with other tribes. I don't think they'd be at war with themselves.
Right.
Yeah, it would have been nice if they would have done that. I don't know, maybe it's going to be one that, because I came up with something when we were talking to my buddy Ted, because Ted messaged us that he wanted a feeling of our Boba Fett, and I came up with something on the fly, and instead of being the Book of Boba Fett, they should have called it the chapter of Boba Fett, since Boba Fett wasn't in the whole thing.
Well, I mean, a book in the Bible is
Yeah.
a section of
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
entire thing.
you're right.
The Bible just translates to book of books.
Right. You're right.
So, yeah.
There's also chapters, or what is damn it, Jason, you just messed up my whole thing.
Sorry. That's what I do.
Yeah, but
All right.
I think that'll pop up back up too. I really think what they're doing is they're planning. He just showed us what to expect in the next 5 or 6 Star Wars series. Jason's going to get more wood for the fire. That's the noise you're hearing.
This is the set piece for the Winter Social, the leg lamp.
Oh. Man, why are you burning it?
They're falling apart.
Oh. Is it like everything in movies? It's just good for like 20 minutes and
Yeah, it's done so.
It's quite literally like the end scene at Citizen Kane. They burn the sled.
Rosebud.
No Han Solo.
that was you know what? I think that was a blessing in disguise. Because if we really want to see Han, I wanted to see Han Solo. I wanted to see a lot more than what we got. But I think it would have been cool instead of Ahsoka, it would have been Han Solo. I think people would have lost their freaking minds.
It would have been cool if Han Solo was just making a delivery to Luke.
I thought he would have been dropping off Ben.
He's 5 years old.
Oh, is he 5 years old at that point? Still. Or had been with him or something stupid.
Because Leia got pregnant, I think the night of the Death Star destruction, Return of the Jedi.
Really?
I think that's what happened in canon.
So I'm going to put a pin in this. Remind me to loop back around.
We need to loop. I know where you're going.
Because I want to talk about this.
Go ahead.
Apparently, post Return of the Jedi, when Han Solo and Leia.
Well, it's in a book.
It's right. It's in a book.
They're
This was a
releasing a
discussion
book,
topic,
The Princess
yes.
and the Scoundrel.
Yeah, so like they're making it canon.
This
right,
is horrible.
Right.
This
the
is
fact that
This is corporate synergy at its worst.
I laughed so hard when I heard this. The Halcyon is the cruise ship in which they honeymooned on, which is the Disney
And I'm
hotel
like,
ship.
All right, you already got me with the Black Spire Outpost book, which was a decent book, but I'm not reading.
I actually really liked that book.
It was a good
I
book.
did too. I did too. It was really good. Well
But now
done.
you're going to hit us up and make us buy another 350-page advert for the Halcyon.
Of course.
So-
I'm sorry. Have you met Disney?
So, The Princess and the Scoundrel is a new novel by Beth Revis. It comes out August 16th. I can read. The logline is set just after the events of Return of the Jedi. The story begins on the Forest Moon of Endor, where Han proposes in the elation of the rebel victory against the Empire. After the ceremony at the site of the victory celebration at the end of the film, well, we knew that. The newlyweds depart for a honeymoon aboard the Halcyon Starcruiser, the luxury vessel at the heart of the new Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser experience at Disney World Resort. In their most desperate hour, with the war still raging but the Empire nearing its last gasps, the couple must outwit the imperial remnants clinging to power.
So,
And all that's going to happen aboard the Halcyon.
I can tell you exactly what's going to happen aboard the Halcyon. Ben Solo is going to happen aboard the Halcyon.
Well, according to Jason, it already happened.
That could be where it happens. Because canon's always shifting.
So you're telling me Ben Solo was conceived on the Halcyon?
This is the
Can I? I'm sorry.
Earmuffs, kids.
this
Earmuffs.
is the suite that Ben Solo was conceived on.
Hi, Disney. Can I have the Han and Leia suite?
I could totally see him doing that. For an extra $1,000, you can stay in the Han and Leia suite.
Oh, it's a thing. It's happening.
But the thing is there's 10 of them on this ship.
Yeah. Because it's all made up. Don't tell this to the people in front of you, but it's actually that room. I told them it was this room. But you're really getting the room.
No, it's this one.
Freaking Disney. And I was watching X-Men last night with Harrison because Multiverse of Madness. He wants to watch the X-Men to understand what was going on. And I came up with this epiphany. Current Star Wars is kind of like the X-Men.
Okay.
It's all based on the content creator. It's willy-nilly. Things don't always line up. Doesn't always make sense. Whereas what they need is a Kevin Feige overlooking everything and saying this is the story direction for the next 22 movies.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're going to end up screwing up like Dark Phoenix at some point.
I think that's kind of what they're trying to do with Favreau and Filoni,
Hey, you know what? I'm down for that.
which I'm down for too.
But they need to be in charge of all stories.
Right.
Because now they're saying that they're planning a new trilogy.
I mean, I feel like they keep saying that they plan a new trilogy, and then the plug gets pulled. Because Rian Johnson was going to do a trilogy, that plug got pulled, and then
Well, someone recently went on the website, StarWars.com, because they would post the press release that, like, Chris Miller and Phil Lord, and then the dudes that did Game of Thrones, they're all doing their own projects. And then as they leave, they pull those press releases from the site. They scrub it. But Rian Johnson is still up there.
interesting.
There's been so many people that have come and gone in the past 7-8 years. As they try to figure out what they're doing. They just need some direction. They need one person to say, this is what we're doing.
Did they officially pull the plug on Bigelow's Rogue Squadron
No.
movie? Is that still a go?
It's still a go. She was working on Wonder Woman 3, Cleopatra, and then this other Rogue Squadron movie. And everybody was saying, oh, no, it's not happening. But actually, she just dropped the Cleopatra movie to work on those other two.
Okay.
Wonder Woman 3 and Rogue Squadron.
Okay. Yeah, I had heard conflicting stories, so.
That's the story. All right,
Interesting.
back to my topics. No Han Solo. Oh, the train's coming in at Speculation Station. Tusken Raiders and Obi-Wan.
Oh, totally.
I feel like we've made so much progress. I said we've made progress, like it's some whatever. We understand who the Tuskens are now, so do we see the bent on hell Tusken Raiders, or we see the humanized version of the Tusken Raiders in Obi-Wan?
We may see both.
I feel like it would take a step back if we don't see them humanized.
Right.
Obi-Wan's not talking to them. But then in episode 4, it kind of seems like he's at odds with them. He doesn't talk to them like they're dignified people.
Yeah.
But wasn't he only at odds with them because they were trying to get... I mean, they attacked Luke and they were raiding the speeder. So it was probably more of a protective thing because his first priority is Luke. So...
Does the crate dragon noise.
Yeah.
Whatever it was.
I know that.
Tuskens will be back, and then bigger numbers.
Greater numbers.
Greater numbers will be back.
Gotta watch these sparks because we got dry leaves around us.
You know, and that may be why we had such a big freaking Tusken run in Book of Boba Fett.
It's possible.
And then we're going to be on a freaking plane when Kenobi premieres. Unless there's Disney Plus on the plane.
I'm gonna download it that morning and watch on the plane. It sucks because I've watched all of these shows with Harrison, but I'm not waiting for Obi-Wan. I wouldn't be surprised if we see the first 2 episodes at Celebration.
Well, that's what they did with the Rebels panel.
Whoa.
They showed the first couple of episodes at the Rebels panel in 17. Because I ran into some little kid. You know, you're just talking to whoever, and sitting around and talking to some little kid because we got talking about Chopper and everything, and his mom was just like, "Yeah, they showed us the first 2 episodes of Rebels at the panel." It's just like, damn it.
That's the one with and then they went to the trailer, right? And that's when they showed Thrawn,
Really?
right?
I don't know. I never watched the panel.
I remember watching it at home because they do a live stream at home, a Celebration. I remember watching it at home. And Harrison was sitting with me when the trailer dropped, and Thrawn came on, and I'm freaking out. He's looking at me like, what the hell's wrong with you? I'm like, dude, that's Thrawn. He's like, who's Thrawn? What do you mean, who's Thrawn? Wake up. Read
Come
books.
here, my boy. I have some books you need to read.
What are you, 6? Yeah, I am.
It might have been.
I was 17. Well, the thing that I had tried getting in a couple panels at 2017, and you just couldn't find out where to sign up for them, even though some of the smaller ones. Because I think Mark Hamill did a Carrie Fisher tribute,
Yeah.
and I don't know how hard that one was to get into.
It's probably hard because that was the time when you would wait all night long to get into a panel. Now it's all lottery.
All right. Well, this was the first Celebration I've ever been to, so.
I got bummed at Chicago because we got into the panel for the episode 9 stuff, but we got the overflow room. Everybody at the big panel was getting episode 9 hoodies, hats.
Jeez.
Nice.
We didn't get anything.
Boo.
Damn you, Disney.
2017 was the year it was in Orlando, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. To this day, that is the only 40th anniversary Black Series figure I don't have is that X-Wing Luke. That was the exclusive.
Yeah.
Well, now I know, so I hope to get a couple if there's something.
Yeah, if you see one for a good price, let me know.
Yeah, I was buying not anything, but if I could find something with that Celebration logo on it, I was buying it. And I bought like Star Wars itty bitties because they had the Celebration logo on it, and I'm like, why the hell did I buy these?
I don't plan on buying anything from Celebration. It's all overpriced on the floor.
Yeah. Room sales, baby.
Room sales or nothing.
Hell,
Whatever.
hanging out at the bar, man.
The Hasbro stuff.
It's a cantina, Glenn.
Oh, fine.
Going back to the Halcyon real quick, there was a website. I'm trying to remember what it won. IGN maybe. They posted their review, their quote review of the Halcyon, but they didn't really review it. They just said this is what it is. And I'm like, that's pretty telling.
Yep. Did you? I think you talked about it on one of the episodes, like probably months ago. That after all of the marketing, all of those marketing videos came out, like people were canceling.
Yes.
They're like they were like, I don't want to say they were wide open to be booked, but there were plenty of openings where you could have easily gotten something.
And it's still pretty canceled.
And these people are losing thousands of dollars doing that. They're losing their 20% deposit when they cancel.
I'm usually,
Which could be up to $1,000.
Right.
That's insane. That's like, I'm usually pretty easygoing when Disney does something unpopular. I'm usually like, hey, all right, it's maybe not for me, but I can live with it. But man, like, I just feel like every single thing they've done with the Halcyon has been a very big misstep.
That red light's on, right?
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
still numbers. I'm just checking, just making sure. After what happened,
No, I
my
appreciate
interview-
that. You've seen me. Well, I've walked over there a couple of times just to make sure. But yeah, I was really looking forward to the Halcyon. I was really looking forward to doing that, and it just seems like it's the more and more it's like a womp womp.
boom, 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 boom.
Did you see there was a tweet going around that said, my Halcyon, it was some guy who posted a screenshot of his Halcyon reservation and like the timed events that you could go and do. And he's like, my Halcyon reservation includes 15 minutes of dance lessons. And it was like from 7:45 to 8 p.m. It just said dance lessons.
Now, I thought some of that is phony. That you'll never get to dance because the Empire comes out or something like that.
Okay.
Or the first
Because
order.
there is a show scene where like all your training leads up to the Halcyon supposedly getting boarded by the First Order.
Okay.
So I think there's
That
some
makes a lot of
fake
sense.
stuff in there. But again, nobody said anything. They've been boarding that thing for a while now.
Have they really been running
Yeah,
it?
it's been running because its premieres what's this, March? No,
Yeah,
April.
it's weeks.
Weeks away. So they have like Wish Kids in there, Make-A-Wish
Mm-hmm.
kids. There's been some media. And no one said anything. Which is telling.
Right, unless they're just signing non-disclosure.
I was about to say,
That's
I
what
bet you
they're
there's a
doing.
lot of NDAs going on for that.
Because I know they did like a press day, and just opened it up for people to go for a couple of hours and check things out. But I don't know how much they were showing. Like we've talked, if they drop it down for 5K, it could affect the actors and the interactions and stuff. And what I don't understand now, somebody had posted that it really is it's a decent deal when you look at everything you get, because you're getting 24 hours of entertainment for a day and a half. Or whatever, however long you're in the Halcyon. It includes 3 meals a day and a meal on Disney. And they're like, you get a Disney pass, which is $150 a day, but you're only at Disney for like 4 hours. Which is enough time to do Galaxy's Edge. And you get a lunch at Galaxy's Edge. But I don't know, when they premiered it, they made it sound like when you checked in, they gave you a uniform, and that's what you wore while you were on the Halcyon. Now you got to buy your stuff. And there's stuff that's Halcyon specific.
Yeah, you still getting the model of the Halcyon when you get on?
Heck if I know. You should come home with more than just a freaking model.
For $6,000.
should be able to drive that ship for $6,000.
Well, you do get to drive it. You're faking it. Apparently, you do get to go sometimes in the cockpit, and there's TIE fighters and stuff that come up, and you get to shoot them.
The thing that I feel cheated on is that, man, they didn't even try to give it a faux ship exterior. It's like they just hide the actual building.
Well,
You're supposed to go up to space.
right, but you're going up to space.
Because it's up there. It's not on the ground.
But I'm still in a transport.
Yeah, you're in a boxcar.
Yeah. All it is a big square box or a rectangle box is all it is. Because when I went, I was able to see it. Because if you stay on property where I was staying, you drive right by it.
Mm-hmm. That's gonna be big fast. It's gonna go right in my face.
That's what she said.
I don't know.
Missed it.
So, I would like to do it eventually.
Now it's going right in your face.
No, it's fine.
I would like to do it. I think it'd be fun, but
I do too. I just hope I can see it before they close it down.
I don't think because apparently that's what they're wanting to put it everywhere though. They're wanting to bring it to Paris. They're wanting, bring it to a few different parks.
There's no way that thing's gonna get shut down. Mm-hmm. They put too much money into
Too
it
big to fail.
Yeah. Rancor.
What's your opinion? We haven't got your opinion about you being a Marvel guy and everything. If they would have held off on the Rancor till now, that son of a. How do you?
I think they probably should have held off on it. Because my immediate thought was, especially when the episode where Danny Trejo was in, when he was taming the Rancor, and I was like, oh man, I bet you whenever because in that episode Boba Fett's like, I'm gonna ride this thing. I'm like, it's happening, and the second everybody sees Boba Fett riding a Rancor, they're gonna kick themselves for not backing that Rancor.
Right.
Because a Rancor, like the one for the HasLab, it said Return of the Jedi, but a Rancor, like, I just feel like Rancors are universal. Like,
right.
You could use that Rancor for anything.
Right. You could have thrown a saddle in. You could have thrown a Danny Trejo. Could you imagine if they were throwing an exclusive Danny Trejo figure with that Rancor? Let
me tell you that I was on the fence on the Rancor for $350, but if one of the tiers was a Danny Trejo figure, that might have tipped me over. That might have tipped me over.
And then they could have thrown a saddle in, and they didn't even have to throw a Boba Fett figure in there. They would have just thrown a saddle in.
Well, I mean, it's an easy repack.
Yeah,
of course.
Well, everything's an easy repack. So I think it's weird too, because it almost made it. It was right there. It was like less than 500 backers.
I think they're going to repurpose it at some point.
I think so too, because there's no way that you're going to have a project like that. And then all right, this is what I think is going to happen. It was timed to where it would be completed for the 40th anniversary for all the Black Series stuff. I think they're still going to make probably less than what they thought they were going to make, but they will still make some for that 40th. That and the Jabba will be like the two big pieces from that 40th, the 40th line for the next year and a half.
Would they release both a regular Jabba to go with that new throne vintage collection set and then a Black Series Jabba?
I could see it happening.
Because they've already done it. It's an easy repack. I guess it's what they would do.
Well, they're also proven, because of the way they scale things, they're making it in a Black Series, and then 6 months later it's coming out in TVC or vice versa. So all they have to do is hit a computer program. Hit a couple of buttons on the computer.
Yeah, because the vintage collection Bo-Katan just came out, didn't it?
Yeah. I think so, yeah. But what I don't get, or maybe I'm looking at them wrong, the vintage collection Bo-Katan, to put the helmet on, you have to take her head off.
Yeah,
but then on the
removable head.
But then on the other ones, the helmets fit on top of the head.
It was a sizing thing.
Okay. But yeah, that was a total fail on somebody's part, not telling somebody hold off 2 months on this Rancor.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, like you said, I mean, going back to bringing up another podcast, David Quinn's podcast, because he's Prototypes and Productions doing a really good redo on HasLab, and he did one on the Razor Crest, and he did one on the Barge, and both of those had such good media blitzes behind them, and the Rancor didn't have anything.
No, I mean, I'm pretty much on the same page with you guys. You know, everything that's been said on the podcast about the Rancor, I've pretty much agreed with. It was $150 too expensive. You know, 3 HasLabs ending back to back to back was a bad idea. Having it end in December right before Christmas was a bad idea.
Having 3 of them end right before Christmas.
Yeah, and then you know, the lack of thought for the tiers was a bad call, and like, it was. I don't think I'm not gonna go into conspiracy theory territory and say that it was planned specifically to fail, because I mean, what's the point? Like, I don't see the point of somebody like making something like that and then going, no, we're gonna make it, we're gonna put all this money into marketing it, and then we're gonna put all this money into prototypes, and then we're going to hope it doesn't happen. Like, I feel like I feel like it's a lot of wasted time and resources to do something like that. Because I have heard some people say that they thought that it was like specifically made to fail. I'm like, no. I don't buy that.
I don't buy that at all.
So
I don't think it was made to fail. I think they may have looked at the money that they were going to make and then said, we overdid it.
I think they flew too close to the sun.
Yeah.
Is what they did. I think they pulled an Icarus and flew too close to the sun, and they were like, oh no, back up.
Yeah, and then that's why it was 500, and they decided to let it fail.
And then you know, then when they tried to pull back from the sun, that's when they're like, oh, here's the Malakili figure, and then the waves got them.
Right.
So
Popping right now. Do you think these shows that they're doing on Disney Plus is missing Warwick Davis? Do you feel like he's an essential part of Star Wars, that they should include some sort of Warwick cameo or have him as some sort of character? What are you doing?
You don't want me throwing a can in there?
What does that do?
it just burns the can.
Just burns the can.
Oh, okay. I gotta clean this whole thing out. There's nails in there and screws.
I'm jumping in the fire, Jason. Stop me.
Glenn,
oh,
get
no.
out. Glenn, put away the knife. Stop stabbing Jordan.
Oh my God, ow, Glenn, why are you stabbing me like that?
I do have an interesting thought, because you remember how Tamora Morrison all of a sudden started talking about Ewoks.
Yeah.
What if he got confused on what person he was playing at the time that he was messing with the Ewoks, and instead of him playing Boba Fett with an Ewok, he's playing Rex with an Ewok, and he just got confused.
An Obi-Wan?
Either Obi-Wan or something.
It would have to be Obi-Wan. But then that would be pre-Return of the Jedi, so that doesn't make sense.
Did Rex got capped? Well, no. Maybe it's a flashback. No, because he's dead in Return of the Jedi.
Possibly. As Obi-Wan would say.
No, Obi-Wan is dead, but maybe he's a ghost in Return of the Jedi.
Oh.
For some reason.
Would you be disappointed if Qui-Gon doesn't make an appearance? I always thought that was a missed opportunity in Episode 3, and he was cut out. He was cut out of the script. He was in the script. I don't know if they filmed it, but there's that scene right at the end of Revenge of the Sith where Yoda's kind of meditating and there's a blue light in front of him.
Uh-huh.
That was supposed to be the spirit of Qui-Gon talking to him.
Huh.
I think that would be... I don't want to get my hopes up, but I would love a Liam Neeson cameo.
Mm-hmm.
That would be cool.
Because Yoda said there's more training for you on Tatooine.
Mm-hmm.
Be interesting. Do you think I guess they could get Liam Neeson back.
He's not filming Taken 7 or 8 right now.
Or all the Taken clones. I mean, if it's
Right.
not that, it's something almost just like it.
Mm-hmm.
He has some new one out where he's on a train or something like that. I don't know. That he started off that whole John Wick stuff, and now all these elder statesmen actors are doing movies like that again.
John Wick was pretty good though.
Yeah, John Wick.
Well, I'm not saying
Yeah.
it's not bad, but Taken kind of kicked off this whole one man out for vengeance kind of
Mm-hmm.
genre, I guess. And then the other topic I had for discussion was sequel trilogy characters or alien species. I feel like they need to fold those into what they're doing now,
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like they didn't include any of those prequel original trilogy aliens in the sequels.
Mm.
So they should just shift those down a little bit and kind of help jive all the stories together.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're aren't they? Didn't they kind of do that with
Couple, but I mean, like,
in Boba though?
there's a couple in the background, but there's so much that they could incorporate because they basically created all new characters for some of those aliens.
Mm-hmm. Now, I've not read any of the books from the sequel era, with the exception of the Black Spire book. But I remember whenever episode 7 came out, like, they were really trying to make Unkar plot a big deal.
Fold him in. There was the 9 Eyes from Solo,
Yep.
or 6 Eyes, or whoever it was. And he was used into Tales from Galaxy's Edge, the VR thing.
Mm-hmm.
That character was folded in there. Plenty of opportunities that they could incorporate some of that stuff. They just didn't do that. Let's smoke this other one because I don't have a one. I'm gonna make all the bad choices today.
You're gonna feel like shit in the morning having 2 cigars.
I'll just taste it in the morning. I won't feel bad. I don't know if I'll sleep tonight.
No, I feel you.
Maybe I shouldn't.
Do it, Jason.
Too
Do
far
it.
gone. Do it.
Do it. Rip that droid apart.
It's only 8 o'clock.
Is it really?
8:12.
Only. I got plenty of time to get over it.
Yeah. What were aliens?
Sequel aliens.
What
I'm feeling this is a bad cigar.
Why? What do you mean bad?
I just tried to pull.
Oh.
There's nothing in there. I have to cut the end you're supposed to light. That's pretty much all I had.
What are you
Oh, John Williams is coming back.
Yeah.
Saw that for Obi-Wan, right?
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
making an Obi-Wan theme.
That's gonna be awesome.
I just hope it's like pensive, like the Force theme.
Hmm.
It's not as adventurous like he did with the Han Solo theme for Solo.
Mm-hmm.
Is he just doing the theme or is he doing everything?
He's just doing a theme.
Okay.
Someone else is doing the score.
I guess we'll see. What are we expecting? What are y'all expecting out of Obi-Wan?
Awesomeness.
I'm just happy that I get to see Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan again.
I assume there's that video they released, the sizzle reel with, this might be a spoiler, with Hayden Christensen practicing his lightsaber, and he has like a mask on,
Mhm.
only his nose and his mouth, and the rest of him is exposed. Why hire Anakin, or why hire Hayden Christensen if you're not going to use him? I think at some point he's going to be half Vader, half Anakin when he's fighting Obi-Wan. And that's how you know it's Hayden Christensen underneath it.
Do you think they would have done like a Darth Bane thing with Darth Vader where it's you could see the face more?
Yes.
Like maybe he is trying out a new outfit type thing?
I don't think he's trying a new outfit. I mean, Vader's outfit. uniform costume, whatever, changes throughout the trilogies. So I think it's just another one of those scenarios. I mean, after Rebels, he was pretty decimated. He needed to get a new suit.
Right.
So maybe after Obi-Wan, he needs to get a new suit.
And they just don't have it built yet. And he looks like Darth Bane.
Maybe. Darth Vader.
Right, Darth Vader, but
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
just has the mask on like Darth Bane does. Is that? Am I messing my?
I don't know who Darth Bane is.
There's a character from the character from Knights of the Old Republic. The
Is
main.
it Bane? I don't think it's Bane. It was Revan. I didn't get
There's
it.
a character in one of the books. It's Knights of the Old Republic, where he looks like Darth Vader, but he just has a breather on, but you see his face.
Maybe it's him. Oh, someone's screaming at us.
Yeah, I thought Darth Bane was like, I thought his whole thing took place thousands of years
Yes.
before the Skywalker saga.
They do.
Right. I'm just you. I don't know if I'm getting my characters mixed up or not, which I probably
I
am.
think it's Revan. I thought Bane was the one that invented the rule of two.
Yeah, that's what I was. That's what I was thinking.
I don't know.
You know, I do have my phone right here.
If we only had small supercomputers in our pockets where we can look up information.
Bad
Something that's more powerful than the Apollo 11 capsule.
from.
I think, for the sole purpose of casting Hayden Christensen, I think it's kind of two parts. I think we're going to get a lot of Clone Wars era flashbacks because the Clone Wars cartoon series, I think, is the best we've seen Anakin Skywalker on screen, and that's not to take away from Hayden Christensen's performance, but it kind of leads into my second part, was that Hayden Christensen catches a lot of crap for his performance in Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith, and I think, you know, at the end of the day, that was the performance that George Lucas was happy with when he made those movies.
Right.
And I think bringing Hayden Christensen back to portray not only Anakin but also Darth Vader is kind of a way to, like, maybe give him a little bit of a redemption. Like, a new director and new producers and everything can get a different performance out of him than
Yeah.
George Lucas can.
He's a good actor.
I think he's really good, and you know, I've seen a lot of his other films that aren't Star Wars, and he's been really good in those. And I feel like it's kind of like the Jake Lloyd thing, right? Like, everybody who dogs on those movies always want to dogs on those performances. And I'm not saying that they're great performances, and I'm not saying that there's no credence to it, but I think a lot of the people that say that also forget that there's a person on the other side of that who's reading all of that. And can do a lot of damage to somebody. Now, I'm not speaking for Hayden Christensen or Jake Lloyd and saying that's what happened, but I just feel that to this day, Hayden Christensen still gets dogged on for his performance as Anakin Skywalker, and I think having him come back and giving a brand new performance as the character is kind of a way to quiet those people who are giving those two movies a hard time.
Probably. I'm on board for that. I don't know. I'm interested. Can't wait. May 25th.
Yeah.
Star Wars Day, the day it was released.
Right.
Um,
Do you think we're going to see Ahsoka in it?
yeah, in a flashback, I would assume. We didn't mention Ray Stevenson's in Ahsoka
Yeah, I saw that he got cast.
as an admiral, so he played something in, what, Clone Wars or Rebels?
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to see if he plays the same character.
Well, it's just like somebody said that, oh, Grand Admiral Thrawn's the main bad guy in Ahsoka. It's like, no shit. Thanks.
Maybe. We don't know.
I do like Ray Stevenson, though.
He's an amazing actor. He's underused.
Mm-hmm.
Needs to be used more.
Mm-hmm.
I had something else. Oh, going back to the Grail discussion
Uh-huh.
from last week, we had a lot of feedback,
We really did.
which
We
was
hit some-
great.
We hit some nerves on that one.
And I appreciate everyone's everyone bringing what they had to the conversation, I guess, because I guess Grails are personal.
Mm-hmm.
It's a personal thing. It doesn't matter if it's a multi-$1,000 item, multi-thousand. several $1,000 item, or like David Sean, I think it's him, on YouTube said it was just a lamp that his grandmother gave him. So it's something that he has, it's very personal, and if he would lose it, it's 1 in a million. He's never going to get it again. So to him, that's his grail. It's something he already has, he'll never let go. So I think it doesn't matter if it's something you have to save up a lifetime for. I think if someone wants a blue snaggletooth, they can't afford one, and they wait 20 years to buy one, that could be their grail, even though it's maybe money you can throw at it for one person doesn't mean it's some money you can throw for someone else.
Right.
I do think Grail should not be the latest wave of Black Series or Marvel Legends, whatever that case may be. I don't think that's a Grail, and I don't think people should be advertising Grails because it's personal. So you can't say, this is a Grail item, here's a Emperor's Royal Guard from Return of the Jedi, whatever card back, or whatever the case may be. I don't think it should be advertised as a Grail because it's a personal item. You can't say that this is a Grail because it's personal.
Right.
I definitely don't want to like gatekeep the concept of what is or isn't a grail, but I was kind of on the same page as you are when you were describing it in the episode last week, where it's like, you know, I mean, otherwise why call it a grail, right? Like, it's something that's hard to find and elusive, right? So I think I'm kind of like line up more so with like the scarcity idea.
Yeah.
Of a grail piece. But far be it from me to, like, I'm not going to tell another person how to dictate what is or isn't a grail according to their, you know, the needs of their collection.
Yeah. I think a grail item should be, I think a person should only have 1 or maybe 2 grail items. And that should be it. Other than that, it's something you really want. Like, a grail item should be the one thing you're striving for, the one thing you always want as part of your collection. No matter what the cost may be, I think that's what a grail item is. It's individual. It's to that one person.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because yeah, you're like you said, you're saving for a blue snag. That's your grail, or maybe it should be more like your gold piece or your white whale, or like Ted's emailed us and said, you know, maybe it's a white whale, or what else did he said something else.
No, I said white whale from Moby Dick because that's something you search and you try to hunt. It's almost obsessive. So I could see, like, if you're obsessive about the latest wave of Marvel Legends, that could be a white whale that you're hunting. But I don't think it's a grail. And I think it's, I don't know, it could be pretty personal. I don't know. I think the term itself could be interpreted different ways. Someone might use white whale and grail interchangeably, but I think it's an obsessive hunt like Moby Dick. The whale is the thing that they're after. My 2 cents. But yeah, we hit a nerve. Like, I was busy that day we posted that video because everyone was commenting and giving their 2 cents, and I'm like, oh wow,
Yeah.
this is a thing. And then someone posted it in the IC, and there was tons of discussion there, and I kind of stepped out and just let that conversation happen.
Yeah.
Well, you see, I'm not a member of the IC anymore, so I didn't see it. Oops.
Nope.
I broke your fire pit, Jason.
It's all good.
Yeah, I didn't see any of that, so if there's anything good happening in IC, let me know.
Will do. Copy. Roger, Roger.
Roger.
I think that's it for discussion. So
I do have to give a shout out to, I guess it's Jim. Give me a minute. Let me look this up and I'll make sure it's right. Because I want to give him props. Yeah, Jim Jones over at the Trash Talk group, Dianego Trash Talk group, because somebody accused me of being a spammer in that group. Because all I do is post pictures, post the updates on the podcast when it's released. And I told the guy, it's like, you know, dude, I'm sorry, but I'm a member of like 20-something Star Wars groups, and I don't have time to post something in every group. And Jim kind of stepped in and, you know, called his bluff and said it's cool with me. So if you guys are looking for a place to talk crap about people, Dianoga Trash Talk group.
I almost commented on that and said, yeah, those guys are a bunch of assholes. They need to stop posting everywhere. I can't stand it.
That would have been great, Jason. You should have totally done that.
But I'm like, I don't know.
And
I like to laugh. I don't like to make jokes.
Yes. And I told the guy, it's like, dude, I've already been. He's like, I kicked you out of one of my groups, and I'm like, I don't even remember what group you were in. He was like, you probably didn't even notice. I said, no, I didn't, because. And then he told me what it was, and I was like, oh, that's why I hadn't seen anything on that topic lately.
What was it?
It was the diecast group.
Oh.
Reminds me of. Did either of you watch Mad Men?
Mm-mm.
Did you watch Mad Men, Jason?
No,
There was a scene with the main character, Don Draper, and he had like one of his employees, and they were both riding an elevator, and the employee kind of like turns to Don Draper and goes, "I feel sorry for you," and then Don Draper goes, "I don't even think about you." Reminded me that, like, when you said that, you're like, I don't even know what group you're talking about, man. It's like, I don't even think about you.
There are so many Star Wars groups now.
Right. And I wasn't trying to be an asshole, but you're in a trash talk group, so you got to throw it, you know?
Yeah.
It's like a full-time job on Facebook to be a Star Wars fan.
Oh, man.
Unless
Or
you're
Star Wars
certain-
collector. You okay? That smoke's going
No,
right
I'm
in
good.
your face.
I'm good. We're great. Everyone's fine.
good.
How are you?
You know, unless you're certain people that work 60 hours a week and find time to do Star Wars in your free time.
I mean, I feel like I feel like it's just tough.
That is like right in your face. I'm like,
What?
how's
No.
he not dying from...
No, it's fine. It's tough to be a Star Wars fan these days, man, because like I think I've even said this on one of the other episodes that I was on, where it's like, listen, I love all Star Wars. I might like some Star Wars more than other Star Wars, but even my least favorite Star Wars is still pretty damn good Star Wars.
Yeah.
So I hate that. Like, whenever I talk Star Wars with people I'm not too familiar with, like you guys, I love talking Star Wars with you guys, but whenever I talk Star Wars with people I'm not too familiar with, like, there's like almost a guard up there, because there is a lot of toxicity in this fandom, and you try to vet who I try to vet, like, the new people I talk about Star Wars with, because I don't want to fall and get into an argument, because I love to talk about Star Wars, and I'm just tired of arguing about Star Wars. And I think, like, a lot of the online presence of the Star Wars fandom kind of goes the toxic route really quick.
Yeah.
So, and I'm always on the mindset of like, hey, we all like the thing. Why don't we just celebrate what we like about the thing? If you like this part of the thing, cool. If you like that other part of the thing, also cool. How about we all just like the thing?
Yes. Let's all just get along. Can't we all just get along?
You're right.
That would be the ideal world.
Because I can tell you, and this is going to probably, this statement will be something that's controversial, because it's been controversial for years, is when people find out that The Last Jedi is actually one of my favorite Star Wars films.
Yes.
People, like, they will not hesitate.
They
like,
want you to be wrong.
They want you to be wrong so bad.
They need you to be
they need
hating Star Wars.
And it's not that they need you to, like, they need you to know that they don't agree with you, is what it is. And I'm like, fine, I don't care. Like, buddy.
I just wish we could move past it. It's
Yeah.
not the worst Star Wars movie,
So,
in my opinion.
No,
I mean, here we are saying that.
Right.
Everyone's saying it's a bad movie, but I'm like, I don't think it is.
No, I genuinely enjoy it, and I can't even begin to tell you how many times I've just argued like in favor of that movie, to the point where I'm like, I'm just tired.
Yeah.
I'm just tired of, like, fine, you don't like it. I don't care. Go read a book. Don't argue with me.
We are past an hour. Just let you know.
Okay. Do you want to?
No, I don't want to wrap it up just yet. I just want to let you know
Okay.
that we have an episode here locked in.
Awesome.
I do want to ask.
Well, we want to talk about Disney.
Well, I want to. Yeah. So before we get into that, because he's got some good stuff on Disney, I also want to ask about modern collecting,
Mm-hmm.
because you're always collecting everything from Marvel Legends to He-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Who's doing it right now, and who's doing it wrong?
Ooh. Well, I hate to say that, like, Star Wars is kind of like fallen to the bottom of my list. Like I was saying earlier, like Star Wars is making it really easy to not collect Star Wars right now, or Hasbro's really making it easy to not collect Star Wars right now.
The pegs are full for like Master of the Universe, Marvel Legends. They're empty for Star Wars.
Mm-hmm. Mattel is killing it on their game because Mattel also does the WWE figures, which I'll partake in every once in a while. I don't buy a lot of wrestling figures.
As you have a wrestler on your shirt.
I do, Danhausen, for the listeners. He's an AEW guy, not a WWE guy, Glenn. Jeez.
I don't know what that means.
Just
AEW.
two different promotions. Because every time I walk in, go for it. Like every time I walk in to a toy aisle, the He-Man is always fully stacked, and wrestling's always, or WWE is always fully stacked. So whatever, I might not actively be buying a lot of those figures, but I see them consistently on the pegs.
Right.
So whatever they're doing well. I don't know like what their shipping situation is compared to Hasbro, because it just seems like Hasbro is a solid 50 or 60% of the toy aisle these days. So I don't know. I really don't know.
Right, and then like Lego, they just released their Naboo Starfighter, the Mandalorian starship, or not released it, but has already announced that they're making a starship. And Hasbro is far from it.
Yeah, every Tuesday morning when I'm driving to work, your podcast is always the first one I listen to. And every time the topic of Hasbro comes up, like I always just I think, and I'm like, what is it? And I'm like, there's got to be something that we're all missing that just. Or at least information that they're just not making public for these figures, because I don't know, man. Like it just seems like they could be putting out so many figures and they're not. And I don't have the answer. I don't know. Like it's probably an answer I'll never know. So I just have to live with the fact that I don't know.
Yeah.
And just be frustrated. Which whatever. It's like you always say, Glenn, vote with your wallet, and it is a bummer that we do get a lot of the repacks, not to regurgitate a lot of the stuff that has already been said on the podcast multiple times, but it does suck that we get the repacks. Sometimes it works out because some people have probably missed one or two things. Like I said, I'm looking forward to the Dengar and the Emperor figure, but that could be, a place where a new clone trooper could have come out. Or that could have been an updated, I don't know, some Cantina creatures or some Jabba's Palace creatures that could have existed. Especially
with them redoing the Jabba's throne room. People are going to want stuff to fill that.
Yep.
People want stuff to fill the barge. I do have sorry. Smoke and a cigar didn't work out really well for me. But I have an interesting thought, because I was looking when we were at the Peachtree flea market. Somebody had a set up of He-Man figures.
New or old?
Old school He-Man figures. And I'm looking at those figures, and the only thing that's different of the figures are the heads.
For the most part, yeah.
For the most part. So they've reused every figure. Is identical, except it's different color, different head, different accessories.
Star Wars is different.
Right.
Yeah.
But why can't, they got away with it back then.
They're still doing it now with He-Man.
Are they really?
Yeah, with the Origins figures and the Revelation figures. They're practically all the same figure for the most part from the neck down. You might get one or two that have different boots, or you might get one or two that have some wrist accessories or armband accessories, but the He-Man, the Fisto, the Stinkor, the Man-at-Arms. There's another one that I'm forgetting. The Web Store. Like, a lot of those figures are all the same buck from the neck down. They're just cast in different plastic, given different accessories. It's the same thing with the Marvel Legends. Like, they have, they call it their Bucky Cap buck, and they just retired it because it's been like the standard figure. It was originally used for Captain America and Bucky, which is why it was called the Bucky Cap buck. And they ended up making so many figures because it was just the right body type for a lot of those Marvel characters. And then it would either get cast in different plastic, they would give it, you know, a couple of accessories for the shoulders of the arms, and obviously a different head sculpt for each character. So that's probably a reason why they were able to churn out figure after figure after figure after figure so quickly. They actually just retired that body mold, and they just introduced the new one that they're going to use as their base model for the character called Vulcan. So that's going to be like the new base buck. So, and again, it's, you know, you might get some different accessories from like the shins down or the elbows down or something, like a different head sculpt. But whenever you're able to repaint the same buck and make it look different enough, like, you can crank them out pretty quick. So maybe, you know, I maybe that too, it's a blessing and a curse to Star Wars stuff that like everybody just looks so different. That's a new mold for practically every character. You know, you might get away with I just got some smoke in the eyes. You might get away with like using. No, I'm not even gonna say that because I'm like, you can't use a same buck for Luke Skywalker because he's wearing multiple outfits.
Right.
You're not gonna use the same buck for
X-Wing. You do that for X-Wing.
You can do that for X-Wing, but like, you can't use like a Bespin Luke buck for a Jedi Luke buck.
Right, but you can use the X-Wing buck for different, and just put different heads on it.
Put a Jack Porkins head on it.
Yeah, well, you'd have to
Can't do
fatten
that.
him up. But
Can't do that.
You could do like a wedge.
Gold leader.
You do a Biggs.
I mean,
Big
what's stopping
gold
him
leader.
from doing that? Is it Lucasfilm stopping him from doing that?
Maybe, because they're very in control.
Well, I mean, I'm just thinking like the Wolfman. Didn't the Wolfman have a tunic? That you could make him sort of look like a Jedi tunic, and then just paint him hairy or something?
I guess. Even Jedis, I mean, they have the base for Mace Windu, just different faces, different arms.
So then you'd have the Coyote Mundi, you'd have the Kid Fisto.
Yeah. We have a Kit Fisto, don't we?
I think we do.
Yeah. You guys are TVC guys.
No, Black Series too.
Oh, okay.
Not me, not anymore.
No, wait.
I sold all my.
I don't think we
No,
have a
they
Kit Fisto
didn't have a
TVC.
Kid Fisto Black
Not
Series.
TVC, but we do Black,
Black Series, yeah.
Is there a...
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. Which one's... Oh, never mind.
The dreadlocks guy, the swim guy, the fish guy.
Oh, there is a Black Series version of him?
I think so. I think he came in the old box. Not
He's
the,
a red,
not
he's
the
a
new
red box.
I'm so glad they updated that box art.
Yeah.
I did not like that black and red box art at all.
Just completed that run.
Oh, really?
Kit Fisto was the last Black Series in that box.
Damn it.
They shifted over to the other one after him.
Because I kind of got a... Well, I've got the... one of him and a Galactic Heroes prototype.
There we go.
Before we jump on to Disney real quick, Toylanta's coming up, so what are your Toylanta goals?
Have a good time.
Yes.
That's it?
That's really it.
You're not
man.
on the hunt for anything?
No, because those shows, much like the Powder Springs Toy Swap, which, by the way, how long until like that becomes like its own legit toy convention? Because
it's overrunning
huge.
the parking lot.
Yeah, like they
Pizza
were.
Hut was mad.
Yeah, which is weird because I'm sure a lot of the people went and bought pizza from the
Yeah,
Pizza
it's
Hut.
we're all
Like,
geeks who like pizza. We're
Yeah.
Well, I don't understand why that Pizza Hut isn't trying to walk out there with pre-made pies.
yeah, why? Yeah, that's
You know, like with some pepperoni and cheese, just walking around going,
Take
hey, we're having a
advantage
show
of that.
special.
That's what Martin needs to do.
take
I think
advantage of that.
Didn't Martin last time he said he was going to do some food, but from what I heard, it was just some dude with a roller grill.
I didn't see him.
I was in Disney.
Not the last one either.
But like, I think the charm of those shows for me is I never know what I'm looking for until I see it, because I don't go with an agenda. I go with cash in my pocket, and I don't go with an agenda other than to hang out with friends and see some cool toys. And if I see something that catches my eye, then I'll buy it. Sometimes I walk away with nothing, and I'm fine with that, because like last time I walked away with just having fun with my friends.
Yeah, that's what I love about those shows, and I think those shows are gonna increase the make Toylanta better. It's gonna make Hamer's show. Chris Hamer's doing a Legion Con. He just announced August 20th.
That's where I met you in person for the first time.
Was that Legion Con?
Was at the first Legion Con.
Oh man!
You were sitting at the
Yeah, I remember that.
the Facebook pages table.
Yeah, and I think it'll make those shows better. It'll make the local shows better. It'll make the local vibe better. Which, you go, and here's what I want to see locally, because I was like, Route 68 in Cincinnati did a live feed, a live auction, and they announced that they made a map. Oh, excuse me. Of all the toy shops in Cincinnati, so you can go up there, and then giving them to all the toy shops, so you can go to a toy shop in Cincinnati and have a map, and they show you where everything's at. And I can't wait for that here. That they're stripping. I was talking to Chris today, and Marietta, that Cobb Parkway, whatever, Main Street, whatever that road is called, they've changed 5 times because there's a stop sign. Is incredible for toys. Because you've got the Peachtree Flea Market that's got 4 or 5 good toy vendors in it. Then you have Second Chance. Then you, then you've got Big Shanty, which has got Hamer in it. Then you got Second Chance. Then you've got Dr. No.
And then the Cobb Antique Mall.
The Cobb Antique Mall.
Yeah, okay.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, yeah.
Now, that would be cool if we did some sort of crawl there. Shop to shop. As a club. Event.
Yeah, maybe we should. That would be that makes a fun day. Because what I've done it with my wife. We do the Martin show, the Powder Springs show, and then we'll hit the flea market, and then we hit Second Chance, and then we'll hit a couple of shows, hit a couple of stores. I did hear that the store in Woodstock, downtown Woodstock, is going out of business. The Right Stuff. But I haven't been by there to see what they're doing. Maybe I'll go tomorrow.
Yeah, let me know, because they do have a bunch of Power of the Force 2 stuff.
I will sit here unresponsive to that comment.
He has good stuff, but he really likes it. Huh?
I will. Nope. It's none of my business. I'm gonna sip my tea like Kermit the Frog.
Right. Tell us about Disney.
Disney was fantastic, man. We decided midsummer. My wife texted me. And that's also before like the big uptick in the Delta variant. So midsummer, she texted me. She's like, "Hey, maybe
2 variants ago."
I know, two variants. I've had a buddy who's a teacher who's caught every single variant. He's had COVID, he's had Delta, and he's had Omicron. I'm like, buddy, do you have a scorecard?
Your punch card?
Yeah.
Fourth variant is free.
Yeah, no joke. But she texted me and she's like, "Hey, maybe we can do Disney this year." And I was like, "Okay, let's try to go," because we like to go during December, like that first full week, because we can normally hit fairly decent crowd numbers that week, because Thanksgiving just happened. Everybody's going back to school.
After the rush.
Yeah.
Those crowd calendars is something else, because now people are planning their vacations around them.
Yeah.
So they'll take their kids out of anyways.
Yeah. No. You're right. Well, I also we got there. We were there the first full week of December, from like the 7th, like the 2nd through the 7th, or the 7th. So the 2nd through the 9th is what it was, because we were there for 7 days. And man, let me tell you, where we have historically hit solid crowds, it was so busy. And the only thing that I could think of is that everybody was finally taking the vacation that they were putting off for almost 2 years.
Yeah.
Or if not 2 years, because we were there 3 weeks, 4 weeks right before everything shut down. So we were there when the first official U.S. case of COVID was confirmed. So that's how close we were to everything. We stayed at Port Orleans. It was a fantastic resort.
I know that's Port Orleans.
You know what? I'm leaving. this podcast.
Okay, all right, we're gonna bring that up
Real quick.
quick.
This podcast is over. I'm going to my car.
All right, no, I want to bring because you're here, and me and my wife on a trip down, she brought it up. She's like, "So is this Orleans Parish or Orleans Parish?" I'm like, "Okay, it's New Orleans, but it's Orleans Parish."
Okay.
So you say it
Anyways,
different.
I derailed Jordan. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. It's what was it? Whenever I went to your house to pick up the king cake, and you gave me the praline.
Yes.
Yeah.
She calls it a praline.
Yeah. And I told you like the whole story about like me and my wife, because she says praline, and I'm like, I'm sorry, what did you say?
Right. Do you want some pralines? I said no, but I'll take some pralines.
I'll take a praline. So, but no, like, but that's just, I call it Port Orleans because New Orleans, right? So the rooms were always great. You know, I know that you said you had a bad experience there. The one time you stayed.
Yeah.
But so we ended up going back, and it was fine. The big change was they had just rolled out the new Genie Plus, and Lightning Lane Plus. And on paper, it sounds like it is a fantastic idea. In practice, it was not.
Why?
And, well, okay, so let me preface what I'm about to say with, it was a busy week. So I feel like I'm unfairly judging it because it was so busy. But also, they put this thing in place for those busy weeks.
Exactly, it's built for that.
So I'm kind of like, I feel like I have to experience it at least one more time. But my experience the first time was not that great. So, just kind of recap, it's replacing the old FastPass Plus system, right? So if you're familiar with Disney, like a lot of us, like the three of us are, you would make your you would book a trip, and you would get 3 FastPass Plus reservations a day. And then after you did those 3, which you could book 60 days in advance, mind you.
Right.
Right?
I took, just to preference, I took that day off of work to prepare for my fast passes.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
I could concentrate for a half an hour, just so I could
Right.
book, just so I had a half an hour to book my fast passes.
Right.
That's how important booking fast passes were.
So where it used to be 60 days in advance if you were staying on property, 30 days in advance if you were staying off property, you could book 3 fast passes, and then after you use those 3, you can book 1 at a time.
Yeah.
Right? That was a lot of people that I know through like the Disney community on Twitter did not like that, and they preferred the old paper fast pass system.
Where you had to run and grab one in the first thing in
Right.
the morning.
I tell those people to be quiet because I think that's a crock. The FastPass Plus, I think, was fantastic. I never had an issue with it.
I didn't either.
I thought that was a good system. The Genie, so Disney introduced the Genie, which is this. It's not for me. It's not for any of us because we've been to the parks many times before. We know what to do. We know what to expect. If I was a first-time Disney World guest, this would be a fantastic system because you could choose like 4 or 5 things, and Genie creates an itinerary for your day. You're going to Magic Kingdom today? Cool. Do you like Haunted Mansion, Space Mountain, and the Carousel of Progress? Cool. Well, you can do this one at this time, this one at this time. You can grab a bite to eat over here, and then you can go to this ride. It creates your experience for the day.
Yeah.
Again, not my first rodeo. That's not for me. because I know what I want to do. The Genie Plus, which is an additional charge, which is $15 a day. I'm sorry, $15 per ticket per day. So for my wife and I, it was an extra $30 a day for 7 days. It was like an extra $200. We're already spending a few $1,000s. What's an extra $200? So we're like,
Right.
let's just try it. So we did. The new way to get, you don't get I'm sorry, let me start that sentence over. They don't call it Fast Pass anymore. It's called Lightning Lane, which I know I'm preaching to the choir directly here, but for the listener, just in case. It's called Lightning Lane, and you don't get 3, you only get 1. And where you used to be able to book it 60 days in advance, you can now book it 7 a.m. the day of your visit.
Ugh.
So it is...
Sorry. That's annoying.
Yes, it is very annoying. So I would set my alarm for 6:55. I would wake up, and then I would, scroll, and I would find the first thing, like the one thing that I wanted to do. I would make the Lightning Lane for. So on top of that, they have a new additional paid for thing. So you're already paying to use Genie Plus. And then they have the Lightning Lane Plus. So for like the 3 high traffic rides in each park, you could either wait in line or you could pay a la carte for Lightning Lane Plus. So we're talking about, like, for example, Hollywood Studios, it was Rise of the Resistance, it was Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, and I think it was Tower of Terror, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
None of those rides you can make a regular Lightning Lane for. So it was either Standby or Lightning Lane Plus. There was none of the in between, which was kind of annoying. I don't mind standing in lines, but where it used to be a 35 minute wait, we were now waiting in 75, 80 minute wait lines. So the wait line, and again, it was a busy week, so I can't figure out if it was because of Lightning Lane and Lightning Lane Plus, or if it was genuinely a busy week. So that's why I feel like I need to go and test it again. My issue with Lightning Lane, just the regular standard Lightning Lane, is that you had to wake up and make one at 7 a.m. I'm like, okay, cool. My wife and I, we typically get to the parks around 11, so I would say Haunted Mansion, 11:30. Cool, let's make that, let's go. We would go and do the Lightning Lane. So you know how, like, you would you tap your magic band for the old Fast Pass? Like, you had to do the same thing, and you have to go through two of the checkpoints. The second you hit the second checkpoint, you can immediately make your next one. So you can still make a Lightning Lane while you're in line for the ride you're doing. Okay? However, at that point, all of the Lightning Lanes for the next hour or 2 or 3 or 4 are all gone. The next Lightning Lane won't be until 5:30 p.m., 6 p.m., 6:30 p.m. So now I'm stuck in a park for 5 hours where I can't make a Lightning Lane for anything I want to go on, and I am now subjected to standby, which again, I'm not opposed to standby, but I'm not going to wait in a 75-minute line to ride Pirates of the Caribbean.
Which promotes you to buy a direct line on.
Which kind of, they kind of like nudge you. And, some of the Lightning Lane stuff is like, one of the Lightning Lane things in Magic Kingdom was Space Mountain. I've been on Space Mountain hundreds of times before. It was cheap. It was only $7 a person. But why am I paying to ride a ride that I've ridden hundreds of times in the past? And I was able to make regular fast
was able to
passes
walk
for it.
on Space Mountain.
Yeah.
It was a 10-minute wait. I walked in and I was like, oh man, Space Mountain. Actually, we had a fast pass reservation for Space Mountain. Saw it was 10 minutes, canceled it, rode it, canceled it, made it for something else.
Mm-hmm. So I was not too pleased with the fact that I had to wait so long Because at that point in time, like, I'm not going to make another or another lightning lane, because at that point we're already park hopping to another park, which did work out for us when we were in the other park, because we were able to make a lightning lane pretty quickly, and I wasn't told I couldn't because I had one for the other park.
Yeah.
There's the thing that they're doing now that was new to us, and this is because of COVID, so I don't know how long this will stay in place.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Was the park reservation system.
Mm-hmm.
So now you can't just go to whatever park. Like normally, let's say you go for 7 days, you buy a 7-day ticket with a park hopper pass. You could just go wherever you want, whenever you want. There was no time constraints. There was no check-in at a certain park. Now you have to make a reservation for the park you want to go to in the morning.
Yeah.
And then you cannot park hop until after 2.
Right.
Which I was fine with, because we normally stay in one park until like 3 or 4 p.m. And then we go to the park where we want to have dinner at, and then we just hang out in that park. That didn't bother me at all. The park reservation thing didn't bother me, but I know that the reason, or allegedly what they're telling people, is the reason that they started implementing the park reservation was because when they reopened in the summer of 2020 during the pandemic, it was to keep the count of who was going where.
Right.
And they weren't even allowing park hopping at that point. It wasn't until like 6 months
Supposed to be
later.
like a control issue.
Yeah.
Control thing.
So,
Well,
now with them, because they just last week, or I'm sorry, what day is it? 2 days ago, they just dropped their mask policy for fully vaccinated guests.
well, I think the big problem is taking a step back, is they've gone from a customer-focused, customer-first point of view to a data-driven company.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about who's where, how can we control that, where can we put them, and it just doesn't feel fun. It feels more work on my vacation than it should be.
And Disney was already work.
I will say, when we went, because the mask policy was in place, the cast members were really good about, kind of like pulling people and going, "Hey, sir, can you put this mask, ma'am, put your mask on?" And I will say that the guests were really cool about putting their mask on when told. So I didn't see a freak out. I will say, though, also, the bathrooms was the Wild West. Like, no one wore a mask in the bathroom. I'm like, that's the one place you need to wear one. So.
Right. And
People are blowing one.
Yeah. I walked in and I'm like, this is, like, why? You came from outside. Like, just put it on for the bathroom. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a leak real quick. Where's the
Hang on
tree?
behind the
over
tree.
there.
I'm going to wrap it up.
Okay.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
Well, thank you for listening to the Smuggler's Galaxy podcast. If you could, please leave a like and a 5-star review if it's allowed anywhere you listen to the show. It helps us out. You can follow us on social media. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. Send us an email or a message. We always appreciate the feedback, as we did here with the Grail items. It's always a great conversation. Our email is smugglersgalaxy@gmail.com. Thank you to Afonso Riviera. What?
Not that I thought you were going to drop an F-bomb.
No. Thank you to Afonso Riviera. I got to change my script there. For the Smuggler's Galaxy logo, and to Levi Waterhouse for the music. Hasbro, please release VC66. Hashtag vote with your wallet. Be a positive force in the collecting community. This is the way.
This is the way.
This is the way. That's Jordan from the potty.